My brother's new wife fat-shamed me, so I revealed her mommy makeover at the baby shower. My dad used to say, everyone in our family has to donate blood twice a week because we inherited the disease that killed your grandfather. It's the only way we'll find a cure. He'd been telling me I was terminally ill since I was born. He even wrote us bedtime picture books about slow, painful deaths from rare illnesses. We weren't allowed to play sports, date, or do anything that might weaken our fragile bodies, as he put it. According to him, all of us had inherited a rare condition that took his dad's life. Without his careful monitoring, he said, we could die at any moment. And that was pretty much the only way he ever interacted with us, through our supposed illness. He didn't know our birthdays, didn't ask about school or our favorite foods. He only cared about our symptoms. Living with him felt like living with death itself. When I turned 16, he sat me down and said it was time for the talk not about growing up, but about taking charge of my own survival. He had needles and blood bags ready. He said we'd start regular blood donations twice a week so he could track my condition and send the data to a research lab he supposedly worked with. It felt terrifying but serious, like something out of a medical thriller. But within months, I felt awful, lightheaded all the time, constantly sick, tired, out of breath climbing stairs, even dozing off in class. When I brought it up, he told me those were all signs that the disease was progressing. We need to increase your monitoring, he said, adding a third weekly donation session. I believe him. When people at school asked why I looked so pale and out of it, I told them the same thing he told me, that I had a rare hereditary condition. By senior year, I was having chest pains that felt like heart attacks. I was glued to my pulse, tracking every ache and flutter. But then something changed. In health class, we learned about symptoms caused by blood loss. Suddenly, everything clicked. The weakness, the dizzy spells, the constant infections. I told my dad I wanted to pause the blood donations for a bit. To my shock, he didn't fight me. This is your condition. You get to decide now, he said. And within a week, I felt better than I had in years. My energy came back. I started hanging out with friends again. I could think clearly, and I wasn't constantly panicking about dying. When Dad asked how I was doing, I told him the truth. I felt amazing. But instead of celebrating, his face went pale. That's what happened to your grandfather before he died, he said ominously. He started feeling better, and then he dropped dead. I froze. Was he just trying to scare me back into donating? Or was he telling the truth? The risk of being wrong, of actually dying, got to me. So I reluctantly went back to his schedule. And he was thrilled. But something felt off, so I started digging. I contacted the hospital where my grandfather had supposedly died of this mystery illness. The woman on the phone was confused. Your grandfather wasn't sick, she said. He was stabbed. It was ruled a homicide. I was stunned. She said the police thought it was a robbery gone wrong, but the case was never solved. No mention of any illness. No genetic disorder. Nothing. Then I went deeper. I found old police reports. My grandfather had reported his son, my dad, just weeks before his murder. He'd grown suspicious that my dad was involved in some shady medical activity, specifically illegal blood sales. That's when I started searching my dad's office. I found bank records. Payments from a company called Premium Biologics, over $400,000 in total. It all made sense. He wasn't keeping us alive. He was selling our blood. And when Grandpa tried to stop him, Dad made sure he couldn't. I gathered everything I found, documents, photos, recordings, and took it to the police. The investigation uncovered the full truth. My dad had been running an illegal blood harvesting operation, using his own kids as unpaid donors. He was arrested for child endangerment, medical fraud, and they reopened my grandfather's murder case. Eventually, my father confessed. He admitted he'd killed his own father to keep his operation running. Now he's serving life in prison. And even though I know I'm healthy now, the mental scars are still there. Anytime I feel a random ache or pain, I panic. I'm still unlearning 18 years of believing I was dying. But at least now, I get to live my life and keep my own blood.